What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm AJ Gels. Guys, it is time once more for the weekly show. Here I talk about video game news and basically stuff that's going on in the industry. I'm going to kind of do a new format this week. I kind of tried it last week, so I kind of liked it. I'm actually going to read the articles and kind of through the articles break into commentary, throughout. I think it's easier this way. It gives you guys more information and whatnot. I will also start putting the links to the articles in the description below, along with the timestamps. Now, this week's timestamps and that will be offset just a little bit. The video will go live, or should go live at noon. But the reason that the timestamping and everything is going to be late, it's just because it's the weather's supposed to get bad. I'm doing this kind of early in the morning, and I have to drive about 3 hours. If you don't, I go to school around central Indiana, and I have to drive up north to get home. So, with the weather getting bad and everything, I'm going to get this video set up to upload, pack my car, and then, fix all that shit when I get home. Not shit as in stuff, you know what I mean. Either way, here we go. News. I need a new transition. If anybody out there can come up with a good transition for that for me, get a hold of me. Sorry, you see my funny looking hand. All right, let's see here. Title of this article, new Xbox Scorpio console will deliver, and I quote, really true 4K, end quote, exec says. Article by Eddie McCouch, however it's pronounced, at GameSpot. Article reads, Sony's PlayStation 4 Pro came out last week. Across the fence, Microsoft's Project Scorpio console is slated to arrive in holiday 2017. Now, Xbox executive Aaron Greenberg has discussed the upcoming Xbox console, saying it's capable of delivering really true 4K, end quote. Now, believe this is all, because I keep hearing this, that people who have loved the PS4 Pro have been saying, well, the Xbox One S doesn't give you real 4K, it's just upscaling. And then I've heard that the PS4 Pro does, and then I've heard that the Xbox One S does that's actually 4K, and that the PS4 Pro is upscaling. Now, I think both are bullshit. I think they both upscale. From everything that I've seen and heard, and as far as I can understand it with my limited capacity to understand the whole frame rate stuff that I don't fully pay attention to, I don't know. It's just not what makes a game for me. I don't think either of them actually do real true 4K. I think the Scorpio will be the first one to do it out of both of them. Let's continue. And I quote, this will really bring the most powerful console you've ever seen, end quote, Greenberg said at this week's Xbox Fan Fest in Mexico City. And I quote, it will bring these really true 4K, really incredible visual games that we've never seen before on the console, end quote. Jesus, quote after quote after quote. And I quote, people who have spent thousands of dollars on a high-end PC are getting that experience. How do we bring that to scale in a console in your living room? That's a big part of what Project Scorpio is about, end quote, he added. Microsoft has said that all of its first-party games will run at a native 4K, and I quote, any games we're making that we're launching in the Scorpio timeframe, we're making sure that they can natively render at 4K, end quote, Microsoft Studios GM Shannon Loftus said in September. Microsoft announced Project Scorpio 83 in June, but the company has not offered much any ways of specifics about the console since then. That may not change soon. As Greenberg said, Microsoft is saving a good deal of significant reveals about Project Scorpio for 2017. Earlier this month, Xbox engineering lead Mike Ibarra said Project Scorpio will, of course, support backwards compatibility for Xbox 360 games. The console also plays all Xbox One titles. According to Microsoft, there won't be any Project Scorpio exclusive games except for virtual reality titles. Pricing for Project Scorpio has not been announced, but Microsoft has repeatedly referred to it as a premium device, so it likely won't be cheap. Sony's PS4 Pro, which launched November, sells $400. Microsoft has said Project Scorpio is more powerful than Sony's console by a significant margin. That's the end of the article. Now, few things. I won't be surprised if this thing comes out to be $500-$600. I would not be surprised, although I think from everything we're hearing, this is going to be a good product. I think it's going to blow the PS4 Pro out of the water because I think a lot of people think that Sony botched the Pro announcements. I was on GameSpot. I was checking out some other articles. They were saying that like the Scorpio's trying to end the idea of console generations. So it might be an upgradable console through the years. Again, I'm reading into titles kind of. What is it? They said that there was another one that I found interesting, that the Xbox One S kind of overshadowed the Scorpio at E3 this year, which I think is actually right, but I think that was really good because the One S was coming out, it came out in September, I think? It might have said in the article, and I just can't remember. But I mean, with that console coming out in September and Scorpio being held off until 2017, I think it was kind of good that it was a good marketing move. To kind of lead with the 1S because it was coming out sooner, which I think was a terrible marketing move on Sony's part. With the way that they advertised the Slim and the Pro, they just had it's like, well, you can get the Slim for $300, or you could wait and get the Pro, and yet the Pro didn't really do much more. The only reason you'd buy the Pro is if you really, really care about, the HDR and the this and the that, which I guess kind of moves into something because this article ends in a question mark. I want this stated. Why are some PlayStation 4 Pro titles running slower than base hardware? Let's read on. Let's see here. Who is this article by? Article by Richard Ledbetter on Eurogamer.net. This article did have kind of like an update and then the original story. So I'll kind of read the original story and then do the update. Okay. The original story reads, PlayStation 4 testing continues at Digital Foundry, and while impressions remain positive for what the system is capable of, especially when paired with a 4K display, there's an aspect of platform performance affecting some games that we find concerning. Several titles are running at lower performance levels than the base PlayStation 4 versions, presumably owing to higher resolution support. As we understand it, this constitutes a fail according to Sony's technical requirements for developers. So it's fair to say that we were not expecting to see this issue manifest in completed launch software. It's certainly not a universal issue that applies to all software. Many of the upgrades we've seen so far have been tremendous, and the extent of the issue varies not just from title to title, but also from scene to scene in affected releases. However, the bottom line is this. For games like Skyrim, The Last of Us, and Mantis Burn Racing, gameplay will actually be smoother overall on base PlayStation 4 hardware. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is a little more complicated. We find that some scenes play at a noticeably lower frame rate, while others hand in more consistent performances overall. For 1080p support, the Pro downsamples the 4K mode for all of these titles, offering enhanced image quality via super sampling. However, the areas where performance is degraded. Jesus Christ, I cannot fucking read, guys. Degraded remain impacted when running on a full HD display. Holy shit. I'm sorry, guys. Meaning that there's nothing that Pro owners can do to get a smoother experience overall on these titles. In fact, the base PlayStation 4 will run these releases at a higher performance level overall at the expense of some image quality. Probably the most surprising example of this is The Last of Us Remastered, a Naughty Dog production. The team has a reputation not just as one of the most cutting-edge developers in the industry, but also for their superb optimization skills. Jeez, I cannot read today. Generally speaking, The Last of Us has been an absolute joy to revisit on PS4 Pro. You get a 3200 by 1800 resolution in 60 FPS mode, rising the native 4K at 30 FPS. It's also one of the best HDR titles we've tried. So if you have a 4K display, losing 2 to 5 FPS in performance in the 60 FPS mode doesn't feel like a bad trade as such, but the point is that you cannot opt for enhanced performance instead. Long and short of what I'm hearing here is that I guess games that have already been so what I'm understanding this as is that games that have already been released, like Last of Us and whatnot, that weren't originally set for this optimization, it's going to be a little wonky. If the game came out, like way before. And again, I still don't see the mass appeal of the PS4 Pro. I think that gave the gist. The article is kind of long. Like I said, I'll provide a full link in the description. I'm gonna go strictly up to the update. Again, just for time's sake, so this video doesn't go on for like an hour. But no, I think the PS4 Pro, I don't know. I don't think we needed it. I think they showed their hand really. I think Sony was trying to anticipate the Scorpio and drop something way earlier, and I think then they ended up dropping something that was basically the Xbox One S, and now Microsoft is just going to just swat them down with the Scorpio. I think the Pro is just I don't want to say it was a disaster from the word go. From what I'm hearing, it's really good. The thing is, I don't have a fucking 4K TV, so why would I get one? I just get, if I want the high, some of the better HDR and the whatnot, either I have my base one, which I thought was upgraded to be able to do the HDR, that or I'd get a Slim, which was supposed to be able to do everything but the 4K. At least that's how, again, I understand it. I'm not a technical person when it comes to the sheer hardware of the consoles. But through and through, I think the Pro's been a debacle, and that I think it was a bad choice on Sony's part. You know what I mean? It was like they were clear, guys. They were demolishing Microsoft this generation, and Microsoft's making a comeback, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Xbox One S, Microsoft's really heavy release schedule, with I think leading off with Gears, Mafia 3, I believe that was marketed more for Xbox One. This, that, and the other thing, I think the Xbox One is going to be making a comeback for a little bit compared to the PlayStation. And I think once, like I said, the Scorpio comes out, PlayStation is going to get bitch slapped. All right, so I'm sorry, I yacked on enough. Okay, here's the update. It's real quick, just a couple paragraphs. Well, we've had some excellent PS4 Pro results recently from the likes of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Battlefield 1, and FIFA 17. Our latest testing with Watch Dogs 2 reveals some concerning results. For the majority of gameplay, the game hits its 30 FPS cap and delivers a crisp 1800p image achieved via checkerboard. Jesus Christ, I can't read today, guys. Checkerboard upscaling and delivering excellent image quality. However, what's clear is that stability in performance is an issue, with the game tearing and dropping frames sporadically during city traversal. While the base PS4 game runs without issue, police pursuits ramp up transparent alpha effects, which clearly exacerbate the problem. Surrounded by squad cars with a helicopter searchlight illuminating the scene, Pro drops frames badly and introduces screen tear when once again the standard PS4 retains its 30 FPS cap. Again, the concept of the top tier console producing subpar performance isn't really acceptable, and it's dismaying to see results like this. The bottom line is that PS4 Pro, that Pro users with 1080p screens may well get a boost to image quality via super sampling, but reduced performance under any circumstances can only call into question the whole point of a more powerful console, which I think, again, just kind of put everything that I was saying into more clear and technical terms. Like, I don't see the full point of the Pro. I just, again, think it was a mess. And saying that Watch Dogs 2 runs great on the or, I think for what it is, it does run great. But I've been noticing one thing that's really bugging me is massive textural pop-up. And that bugs me in big sandbox open world games, like that textural pop, and it's just because it doesn't even seem like it's from that far away. It really is annoying for Watch Dogs 2. So if you want to see what I mean, go check out my Let's Play, also on the channel. All right, moving on. Now we should be able to get a little quicker because I think these next articles are actually pretty short, or shorter. All right, let's see here. Article by Joe Scrubbles of IGN. Nintendo Switch price may have been accidentally revealed. Article on IGN. The Canadian arm of Toys R Us may have inadvertently outed the base price of the upcoming Nintendo Switch. Briefly listed the hybrid console at $329.99 Canadian, roughly, I believe, 200. Okay, I'm gonna sound like an ignorant fuck here, but I'm gonna go pounds in the UK, or did you guys switch to the euro? I'm going to say pounds, but that could be incorrect. I apologize if I am incorrect. That's $250 US, 330 AUD. I believe that's Australian. The listing has since been removed. That sounds like it's coming in underpriced. 'Cause from what I was hearing, it would be 300 base. So maybe that's coming in underpriced if this is true. As spotted by WCCF Tech, the potential price is competitive, placing it around the same level as the most basic Xbox One and PS4 units, not to mention on par with the hugely successful Wii's $249.99 US dollars initial price point, something we suggested in our rundown of the unanswered Nintendo Switch questions. The listing lines up with the reports from Let's Play Video Games, which says two separate sources have indicated that the UK's game retail chain will sell a basic model for $199, again, I believe pounds. LPVG also reports that the premium model will be sold with more internal storage and a pack in-game for $249, again, I believe pounds. If this is the case, Nintendo's recommended price, it will mark the Switch as significantly cheaper to manufacture than the Wii U. Nintendo has previously said that it will not sell the console at a loss. The Wii U was sold at a loss at a $299.99 initial price point. Nintendo will not comment on rumors about the console and will not be announcing anything more about it until Nintendo Direct in January. Now, I think that on its own, the fact that they're going to wait till January to talk more about a console that's coming out in March is a dumb move. Just really dumb, especially for people like me who are sitting on the not buying it camp just because I don't know a lot about it. You know what I mean? I just don't know a lot about it. It seems like a weird idea for me personally. I know there are a lot of people who really like it, but I don't think that they've done enough to sway the people like me who are very kind of wary about it. I don't think the Switch is going to do well. I keep saying I hope I'm wrong, and I still do hope I'm wrong, but I don't think the Switch is going to do well. I mean, and like they said, for those prices, it's coming in competitively against, about the same as the base Xbox One or PS4, but this is where I'll sit and say, unless you're a Nintendo fan, get a PS4 or an Xbox One. It's a more powerful console. It'll run stuff. It'll look better. I mean, again, these are some assumptions, but I'm assuming that they'll look better. The only thing you'll really lose out on is that portable thing, which I even have reservations about that. So again, I think the Switch is a really cool idea that just will not work out. All right, moving on. More Nintendo news. Article by Michael Passalacqua, Passalacqua. No idea how to pronounce that. Really cool sounding, though. Or I'm assuming how it sounds. Article on IGN. Super Mario Run release date and price revealed. Super Mario Run will be released on December 15th for iOS devices. Nintendo announced today players will be able to download the platform Auto Runner for the App Store for free. Give me a second. Sorry, message popped up on my phone. Players will be able to download the platform Auto Runner for the app from the App Store for free to try out the game's 3 modes. After that, the full game can be unlocked for $9.99 US, $14.99 AUD NZD. I believe that's again Australian, New Zealand, and again I'm going to sound like an ignorant shithead here. I'm going to say $7.99 pounds. I believe pounds. I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna fucking Google this. Let's see here. Is it the pound? Is it the pound? Let's see symbol. Yeah, it's pounds. Okay, I'm not wrong. I'm sorry. That was just gonna bug me. Let's see here. Super Mario Run will work on iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch devices. running iOS 8 or later, and will launch in 151 countries and regions starting on December 15th. No word was given on an Android release date, but Nintendo has said that it plans on bringing the game to Android devices at some point in the future. Late last month, Nintendo said it's working to make Super Mario Run as popular as Pokemon Go, a video game analyst predicted the mobile game will easily hit 1 billion downloads. For more, here's 11 things we learned about Super Mario Run when we spoke to Shigeru Miyamoto, I believe I pronounced that correctly, after the game's reveal. I really don't have a lot to say about this. I'm not a big Mario fan, but from what I'm hearing from that, it sounds like it's really cool. It looks like an old side-scrolling 2D. I'm sorry, it's getting really dry, so my throat's drying out really quick, guys. It seems kind of like an old side-scrolling platformer, old school Mario and whatnot. Okay, let's see here. Zelda Breath of the Wild reportedly won't be a Nintendo Switch launch title, but Mario might be, by Alex Osborne. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild reportedly won't launch alongside Nintendo Switch in March of 2017, according to Eurogamer. Sources close to Nintendo have corroborated a report from insider Emily Rogers that localization on the game may not be completed until the end of December, at which point an additional 4 to 6 months will be required for testing before launch. After being in development for so long, Eurogamer sources say Nintendo is dedicated to releasing Breath of the Wild in as flawless a state as possible. It's important to note that Nintendo never explicitly said that Zelda would be a launch title for Nintendo Switch. Back in April, the company said NX Switch would launch in March, but gave Breath of the Wild a broad 2017 release window. In the event that Zelda Breath of the Wild isn't a launch title for Nintendo Switch, Eurogamer has heard the company's new Mario game may be finished in time to fill the void. There you go, kind of a short article. No, I think that's a good thing. I think that this Zelda game, I think that's going to be the real big heavy hitter. Alongside a new kind of, I'm hearing, I think it's an open worldish sandboxy, kind of like Mario 64. That's the comparison I'm going to draw. That these two games are going to be the new Mario game and the Zelda game. I think both of them are very important how the Switch is going to do. And I think taking your time with Zelda as opposed to rushing it to make it a launch title is a very good decision. Very, very good. And that article was on IGN. I forgot to say it. This article also on IGN. A lot of them are on I assume IGN unless I tell you for the next couple, because pretty much the rest of them except for two are on IGN. Article by Vicky Blake. Sony bans gamer for sharing full frontal nudity Watch Dogs 2 images. Yep. The original story as follows. Sharing screenshots or footage of Watch Dogs 2 full frontal nudity may get your account suspended by Sony after accidentally taking down some female NPCs during a playthrough of Ubisoft's new open-world shooter. Adam, a UK QA tester, used the PlayStation 4 share feature to screenshot a fallen character seemingly wearing crotchless panties. Not seen this yet. Kind of want to see if this really is a fucking thing. On Sunday evening, I accidentally blew up a few women in a back alley with a gas pipe, and then I saw it. Adam wrote on NeoGaf. I took a picture of this funny oversight with the in-game camera and shared it on Twitter for my friends to see, and I posted it in one of the Watch Dogs early release threads on here. Cut to tonight, where I can't access any services while playing the game, and then when I tried to sign in, there was a very brief message about my account being suspended. PlayStation, I'm assuming that was from, okay, yeah, that was what he wrote on NeoGaf. PlayStation Network's terms of services make it clear that deformity or offensive material breach your contract, stating users should not share anything that is vulgar or use community features to harm or alarm anyone. Okay, well, see, but you have this feature to take these, to, use these sharing. From what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like he shared it using the share feature on the PlayStation 4. I mean, I could be incorrect, but from how it reads, he didn't use that. But if he did, how is it different from using, say you're playing The Witcher and you're in one of the brothels, and you do that with one of the women? I mean, that's just an obvious one because I know there's nudity in that game. But there's nudity in games now. There's mass violence. You know, I'm playing Mad Max trying to get the platinum. And that game is violent as fuck. Like, what do they want? Like, you give them the tools and then you yell at them when people use it. I mean, I don't know. I think that's weird. Continue with the article. Content of an adult or sexual nature is against our code of conduct, Sony said in an email to Adam. The suspension will last 1 week. You won't be able to access online multiplayer, PlayStation Store, and other network features until the suspension is over. Again, you give them the option to have this, and knowing that games have nudity in them. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but this sounds like you guys are going like Sony's kind of overstepping here. And I could be way wrong, but that's how it sounds to me. We ask all our players to act decently, respectfully, and with consideration for us and other players while using PlayStation Network. To make sure you understand the behavior we expect from our community, please review the code of conduct here. There's a hyperlink. Before returning to PlayStation Network, please be aware that any further breaches of code of conduct may result in a longer suspension or even a permanent ban. I'm not looking for justice or lifting of the ban, really, Adam added later on Twitter. I'd just like to spark a conversation about how platform holders should handle community content as games push boundaries of what's acceptable. They're happy to sell the products and use sharing for free promotion. Yeah, see, it's exactly what I just said. I hadn't read the article completely. I read the top, because after this there's a new statement. But that's exactly what I just said. I want that stated. That I said the exact same thing. In IGN's Watch Dogs 2 review, we stated by expanding on a lot of what the first game and its expansion got right in mixing action, stealth, and puzzle gameplay with handy remote controls. Watch Dogs 2 impresses, but okay, it's just a excerpt of the review. Now, if I might say, you want to hear my thoughts on Watch Dogs 2, go check out the Let's Play. I'll just say that. Okay, a Ubisoft representative provided the following statement to IGN, and I quote, "We're aware that one of the NPC models in Watch Dogs 2 is rendered in a way that is particularly explicit. While Watch Dogs 2 is a mature-rated game, we apologize and will update the NPC model to make it more consistent with other NPC models in the game in a patch to be released this week. We also are working with our first-party partners to ensure that players can continue to play and share all content from the game within the boundaries of the first party's respective code of conduct," end quote. That was a very PR-y statement. I'm not surprised, and actually now thinking about it, I remember bringing in an update for that game, so I guess it got patched, so I can't find out exactly what this is. Alright, continuing on, more Ubisoft news. Report, Ubisoft trailer in Watch Dogs 2 is for a real game codenamed Pioneer. Article by Blake Hester. Just yesterday, we reported Watch Dogs 2 could be teasing multiple new Ubisoft games, including a secret trailer for an unannounced space game hidden in a side mission. Today, Kotaku reports that the trailer is indeed for a real game codenamed Pioneer, but its development is a little rocky, citing two sources familiar with Ubisoft. Two sources familiar with goings-on at Ubisoft. Kotaku's report explains Pioneer, a space exploration game, was supposed to be formally announced in 2017. However, due to unspecific reasons, the game's development has hit a snag, and the game is being retooled, according to Kotaku's source. When Ubisoft decided to put the teaser in Watch Dogs 2 as an Easter egg, the company didn't know that the game's development would become troubled, so a bit awkward. Okay, so it's based... Okay. I'm not going to finish. It was just some, again, the usual kind of end of the article stuff. Interesting, but not really. I don't know. I mean, I again, a lot of these articles, I'm not going to lie, I read the first half. For this week, I kind of read the first half, so my commentary could be a little more kind of off the cuff. Maybe from now on, I'll start reading them all the way through, if I'm going to keep with this format. I mean, we're already a half hour, we're almost about halfway done, so maybe I won't do this format again. If you like this format, please tell me, and I'll keep doing it. I'm sorry, I'm running through my thought process with you guys while I do this. Next article, Ubisoft hopes to deploy Watch Dogs 2 multiplayer fix this weekend. Article by Chloe Rad. If you've been checking out my series on this game. The drop in, drop out, or the seamless whatever multiplayer is not currently working. No idea why, but let's read the article here. Ubisoft has offered an update on Watch Dogs 2's seamless multiplayer feature, which remains disabled 2 days after its launch. According to Ubisoft, the Watch Dogs 2 development team hopes to turn the multiplayer back on as soon, and I quote, as soon as this weekend, end quote, if the solution works. In a statement to IGN, a Ubisoft spokesman said that ensuring the fix causes no regression to the core single-player experience is a priority alongside smoothly integrating the new co-op features. To our current players, we sincerely appreciate the support and patience during this process, end quote, Ubisoft stated. Watch Dogs 2's seamless multiplayer feature, which should allow randomly synchronized players to meet up in-game, hack each other in a hide-and-seek style mode, or join the police hunt to hunt down misbehaving players in bounty hunts, was disabled shortly before launch due to lag and crashes. For more details, okay. Not really much to talk about there, other than what I already said before, that we currently cannot play multiplayer on that, and who knows. But I guess kind of more into some more co-op stuff. An article by, also on IGN by Wesley Copeland. Dead Rising 4 doesn't have campaign co-op. Dead Rising 4 will not feature campaign co-op, unlike previous games in the series via Destructoid. Capcom Vancouver producer David McGarren, I hope I pronounced that, McAnerin, fielded a question from a fan on a stream asking whether the fourth iteration will feature co-op play in the main campaign. So in the story mode is a single-player story. You're going to play just as Frank, says McAnerin. Jesus Christ, I can't pronounce it. The 4-player co-op is our multiplayer mode. It's a little bit inspired by the original Infinity mode for the old school fans. Okay, I'm not too sad about this. I don't know. Personally, I enjoyed Dead Rising. I haven't played 3 yet. I've watched all of 3. I've seen the different endings. I haven't played it. But no, I think this is good. I never used the multiplayer features. I know, but no, who cares? I think it's perfectly fine. And if this kills the game for anybody, I don't know. Look, I respect you as a gamer. Why? I mean, it's don't get me wrong. There's small shit that's kind of turned me off from a few games. But it's, how to put it, it's the lack of a multiplayer that I've never understood that people don't like. It's like why Assassin's Creed put a multiplayer in and everyone's like, oh, it was so good. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was awful. Like, they should have just stuck to a story. But these people, but then they rave when a game's just multiplayer, and I'm like, no, games, I don't know. You know my tastes. I'm a single player guy, so again, I'm biased here. All right, let's see here. McAnerin went on to elaborate further what the separate 4-player co-op will entail. It's 4-player co-op. It takes place in the mall. You play as 4 survivors who are also featured in the story as well. You get a little more backstory on them as well. You go into the mall and take part in crazy missions trying to survive. The structure is the 4 of you start the game together. You start in a safe house. You get a load up, get some weapons, get yourself ready to go. Jeez. Sorry. Ugh. I kind of chowed through breakfast before I did this. We unlock the doors. It's killing, mayhem, madness. Lots of interesting missions that take advantage of our systems. You have to get to the safe house to survive the end of the day. Dead Rising 4 sees the player return to a zombie-infested world in the hopes of completing the final chapter of Frank West, the former protagonist who's now a professor at a community college. During our hands-on time, we noticed Frank has had somewhat of a makeover during his time off. Gone is the hunching, slightly odd-looking man from yesteryear, and instead Frank now looks almost like a cleaner version of The Walking Dead's Negan. That said, Capcom Vancouver studio head Joe Nichols reckons the man you play as is still Frank on the inside. He's still a super smart ass, says Nichols. The humor is still there. He's still Frank. See, I didn't get Frank as a smart ass until the sequel or the DLC Off the Record for Dead Rising 2. I thought Frank was little more subdued in the original. I don't know. All right, let's see here. Next one. Limited run of Firewatch physical copies announced for PlayStation 4. Article by Blake Hester. Developer Campo Santo announced today it will bring out a limited run of physical copies of its recent narrative exploration game, Firewatch. Firewatch released earlier this year for PlayStation 4 on February 9th and later on September 21st for Xbox One. Revealed via its official Twitter account, Campo Santo announced it has partnered with Limited Run Games for the release, who specializes in creating limited physical releases for smaller independent games. In the past, it has done similar physical runs for Octodad, Deadliest Catch, Thomas Was Alone, and Shadow Complex. While no specific release date was given, Campo Santo did say in its tweet that the Firewatch physical release would come sometime this year, as is standard with Limited Run Games release. The physical version Firewatch will only be available for PlayStation 4, as the company only does releases for PlayStation 4 and Vita. I'll just finish it off here. Firewatch really okay. I think they scored a 9. Yeah, okay, yeah, it says scored it a 9.3 on IGN. I think I gave it a solid 8. Enjoyable game, really cool, really kind of a different experience if you didn't get a chance to play it, and it's really got some really cool box art. I'd show it to you, except, it's the screen on the screen just makes it look weird. But no, I mean, Firewatch was a really cool game. Definitely, right now, it's sitting in my top 10 for this year. Really, really sweet game. If you can't wait for the physical release, go download it. It's a really small game, and I think it'll take me maybe 5 hours, and I might be overshooting. All right, now into about the one article this week that's really kind of pissed me off, and this just makes me sad because I've already dealt with this game being delayed multiple other times. This article comes from GameInformer.com. Atlas delays Persona 5's North American release to April. Article by Matt Burtz. Okay. I'm sorry. I still remember I kept hearing 2015, 2015 as the release. It came to I think it was TGS when we were supposed to get real news about it, and then they're like, yeah, it's coming out next year. It really kind of pissed me off. Then I was getting all geared up for it in 2016, and then I heard, no, it's coming out in the fall of 2016 in Japan only, 2017 for America, and I almost flipped a shit there. And then I was hearing the original release set for February 14th. I was all geared up. I was so ready. Now I'm hearing it's in fucking April. I'm not happy. Mother of... Oh, damn it. God damn it, I'll just read the fucking article. Today, Atlas announced its highly anticipated RPG Persona 5 is pushing back beyond its most recently stated February 14th release date. Fans waiting for the North American and European releases of the PS4, PS3 game must now temper their excitement until April. The game is currently out in Japan, but an Atlas representative told IGN that due to extremely high expectations for the game, the publisher is redoubling our QA and localization efforts, even returning to the studio to record previously unvoiced lines. To soften the blow, today Atlas hosted a live stream of the English version of the game. Fans can try the game themselves for the first time at the PlayStation Experience event coming to Anaheim, California, December 3rd or 3rd to the 4th. And also there are the usual the character trailers that have been dropping. One, that's annoying to me. That it's people can curb their excitement for the game by trying it at PlayStation Experience, provided you have you can get in and it's in Anaheim. Fuck. But no, I think, don't get me wrong, I sound way more pissed off than I am. I am annoyed. But no, if they're adding even more voice to it, I'm fine with that, and I get it. It just, to me, it kind of bugs me. I'm just like, the game is done. It's just, all you have to do is dub over the voice, which I might be making that sound way easier than it is, but I don't know. It bugs me. Just because I want the game so bad. I'm sitting here working on my platinum for PS4 Persona 4 Golden on my Vita, and it's just I want the game. I guess also in Persona 5 news, PlayStation 4's Persona 5 Steelbook exclusive is one good-looking bonus. Article by Jeff, holy shit, that's a name. Marchiafava? Marchiafava. Holy hell, that's cool. Wait. September 20th, what the hell? Oh, this is an old article. Never mind, I apologize. I thought this was more recent. Yeah, what the hell am I thinking? For some reason I missed that. I got distracted. There's a cool steelbook case for this. Again, it's neat. I won't add that one. That's my bad. All right. Now, I guess off of something I'm not happy about. Something I am happy about. Mortal Kombat movie reboot lands new director. If you don't know, I love the original Mortal Kombat. You know, that terrible movie that looked awful, was so cheesy. I still love Johnny Cage punching Garo in the nuts. This is the part you fall down. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. Fucking shit, man. God, article by Alex Osborne, article on IGN. Let's see here. New Line's upcoming Mortal Kombat film reboot has found its director in Simon McQuoid, McQuoid. According to Variety, the Australian filmmaker and acclaimed commercial director is in talks to helm the movie, with James Wan on board as producer and Greg Russo having written the latest draft of the script. In addition to being an incredibly popular video game franchise, Mortal Kombat was adapted into 2 live-action film adaptations in the 90s, as well as a web series called Mortal Kombat Legacy. While New Line's film reboot has been a long time coming, Wan has made it clear he doesn't intend to rush the project and wants to be sure it's done right. McQuoid is best known for his award-winning... Okay, we're done with that. No, I'm very excited. I honestly didn't know that there was a new Mortal Kombat movie in the works. I just hope that they kind of keep to the original ones in the 90s, where they kind of make it like a bad kung fu movie. I will say the second one, I believe that was Annihilation, was not as good as the original. Also because I believe they changed the actor who played Johnny Cage and then killed him in like the first 15 minutes. Johnny Cage is my favorite in the Mortal Kombat universe. But no, I kind of hope that they kind of make it kind of jokey, kind of goofy. That, how to put it, that it's serious, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. That it does what the movie in the 90s did, which was just god-awful, but wonderful at the same time. I really hope that they can kind of catch that lightning. All right, time for the final article by Jim Vejvoda. Holy hell, how's that pronounced? I'm not even going to take a shot. Wow. Let's see here. Producer Sam Raimi says The Last of Us movie stuck at a standstill. Article reads, I attended a press launch today for the upcoming home video release of Don't Breathe, during which time I was able to ask producer Sam Raimi about the status of the big screen version of the hit video game The Last of Us, and what he had to tell us wasn't very hopeful. The movie was formally announced in March 2014 as being a Screen Gems release. The screenplay was penned by Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann, the creative director for the game, who is also a producer on the film, along with Raimi and Ghost House Pictures Company. Naughty Dog co-presidents Evan Wells and Christoph Balestra, hope that's correct, and game director Bruce Straley. In the ensuing years since the announcement, there were rumblings of Game of Thrones, Macy Williams being courted to star, and subsequent comments from Druckmann that the movie would boast big changes from the game's story. Macy Williams, god damn, is she who plays Arya? I'm not 100% sure, so I'm assuming she'd be Ellie. If I'm right on that, if that is Macy Williams, please tell me in the comments. I'm sorry, I don't know the actors behind Game of Thrones. Voice is correct. Game of Thrones, I've watched some of it. I really need to get back in. That show's really good. Let's see here. Then this past April, we learned some bad news about the film adaptation. During our chat with Neil Druckmann, he told IGN, I know I said in an interview a while back that we had a table read, got the script to a good place, and it kind of entered development hell like these things tend to do. There hasn't been any work done on it in over a year and a half. Jesus Christ. I asked Raimi today about Druckmann's comments and what the current status of the film was, which led to a dissection of how the film appears to have stalled over at Screen Gems, parent company Sony Pictures. Said Raimi, well, unfortunately, that one, when we went to Neil with Ghost House Pictures, we were hoping to get the rights like we do any project, and then we'd take it out and sell it, but we control the rights. With this one, he went to Sony, who I have a very good relationship with, but they have their own plans for it, and I think Neil's plan for it. I'm not trying to be political. Neil's plan for it is not the same as Sony's, and because my company doesn't have the rights, I actually can't help him too much, even though I'm one of the producers on it the way he set it up. He sold his rights to Sony. Sony hired me as a producer by chance, and I can't get the rights free for him, so I'm not in the driver's seat, and I can't tell you what Sony and Neil together will decide on. If they do move forward, I'd love to help them again, end quote. Wow, okay, I might have misread that terribly. Yeah, Macy Williams is the girl who played Arya. Okay, I'm not totally losing my shit. When I pressed if Raimi was still attached to help produce the Last of Us movie, he replied, yes, I'm attached to it. I'm not too sure what that means right now. Jesus Christ, my eyes are starting to hurt, guys. It's just sitting there. They don't want to move forward, and it's not my place to say why. And Neil, I think, is in a slight disagreement with them about how things should go, so there's a standstill. And I don't have the power to move it. If the Last of Us movie ever budges from this development hell, IGN will certainly let you know. And there we go. Overall, I don't know how I feel about a film, mostly because I don't want it to be a sequel. Because if it's an out-and-out sequel, I want that to be in game form. Specifically one that I really hope we get to play as Ellie. I don't know, maybe, and I'm okay, some spoilers. I know the game launched a while ago, but so a few spoilers, just so warning. Maybe Ellie really finds out what Joel did for her at the end of The Last of Us. Maybe she's pissed, maybe she's not, maybe she goes on her own like little soul-searching adventure. Who knows? Hell, maybe that new the new Sony game, what fucking game is it? Days Gone will somehow tie into The Last of Us. Highly doubt it. The zombies are different. Well, guys, I'm not going to do a lot more commentary. My voice is really starting to hurt. And I wonder, I think you guys can start to tell by now. Plus, I've been going on for about 40 minutes. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this new format. If you did enjoy this format, please tell me. If you didn't, also tell me, and I'll switch back to what I used to do. So, guys, thank you so much. Have a happy holiday, because I know I won't be able to say Happy Thanksgiving by next show, because by then it would have already happened. So, like I said, happy holidays, happy Black Friday shopping, happy all that. I hope you have some good time with your family or whoever you're spending with. Anything else? Other than that, guys, please remember to like, comment, and if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. And remember that you can stay up to date, everything that's on, all the goings on. All the goings on the channel down in the description below by finding me on Facebook, Twitter, and my website. So until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. I am AJ Gels, and this is the 11th Hour Gaming Channel. See you next time, guys. I'm out.